Welcome to the lesson. Check the description box below in your YouTube player for tabs and backing tracks on my website, information about these sound tools I'm using today, and links to other goodies via my Patreon page. Continuing. What are we doing here? Let us begin. We're going to play around with a C and a B minor. By the way, this beautiful guitar is for sale on blackmoonguitars.com. My friend Robert makes these. They're quite pretty. I'm going to disengage my Jam Pedals Retro Vibe for teaching because it might be a little distracting to have that. So, if this is a very standard C bar chord, I'm actually using a CAGED structure. They call it the G-shaped C. You could do it like that. That's really hard for our hand. In general, hello, I noticed that us guitar players, we like chords that go like this, that live in front of our index finger. Oh, I touched the mic. Live in front of our index finger. We don't like the idea that it can be anchored this way and stuff can happen on this side. So let's work on it. So that is 8, 7, 5, 5, 5. And yeah, I'm going to do some kind of, I don't even know what that groove is. You know, anything is fine. I think I'm even hybrid picking. Can you see what I'm doing there? You can kind of see that I'm hybrid picking, but you don't have to. And the pentatonic major scale that goes with this structure, because that's kind of my whole thing. By the way, I love the way these two pickups sound on this guitar. Tyson tone pickups. There's a neat kind of quack to them that is, yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess he must have this one reverse wound to that one. So our major pentatonic, you know, this is also really our you know, it's our tried and true favorite minor pentatonic structure also, but 8, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. Now, we love to move that way, but I wanted to display in this lesson that you don't have to move that way. So all I'm doing is just kind of just a simple idea like, hey guys and people and women and trans people, that you don't have to always move in a linear fashion. It can kind of move in what I'm calling a cascading fashion, where it's not specifically fourths or thirds. I'm just kind of hopping between strings. 8, 8, 5, 5, 8, 7, 5, 5. And I am doing it in a syncopated, you know, I'm not going, which is cool too, but I am doing, I don't know what that rhythm is. Now, just for whatever reason, I went back to a B minor. Honestly, this little riff, I think I've had this little riff probably since the end of 2017. I came up with it stoned in a hotel room in Colorado. So we have a B minor here, which is 7, 5, 4, 4, which is, again, that is a behind structure for B minor. So, which is, yeah, a minor triad. That would be considered the G-shaped structure. Where is the minor pentatonic that goes with a minor triad? That's right, there it is. So, let's do the same idea as we connect. And yeah, you notice because I'm visualizing the next scale and the next structure while I'm on one. That's this double vision I like to talk about with my students, where if I'm on a chord, I can see the scale and I can kind of superimpose back and forth. So yeah, and then I'm going to do the same idea to that scale. So that is 7/7, 5/5, 7/7, 5/4, and then I'm like, uh-oh, I want to go back to C. So I go back, seeing where I'm going next. I think when I got back, do that very classic pentatonic Hendrix, Leonard Skinner maneuver. 5/7, flat out the fives. And now I'm just going to do the same idea, but starting at this part of the scale. Another one of my principles of playing. If you had a cool idea, don't give up on it so soon. See if you can, move it to other parts of the scale. Look at that. It's equally cool there. What is that? 5/5, 7/7, 5/5, 7/8, 5. And again, I'm going, I'm out of time. Time to get to that B minor again. And then I do the, and then, and I'm going to go down a little further, but okay, here's our minor pentatonic for B minor. 4/4, 7/7, 7/7, 4/5, 7/7, 5/7, and then I was like, well, that's getting a little boring, just going back and forth between those two. Let's drop to A minor. So then when I thought of that, I was like, oh, that means I'm ultimately heading back to a G eventually, which is what we're doing. Again, some kind of A minor, groovy fill. Flat out fives. And then I did a sequence of fours coming down on that A minor. If you don't know these, I do have a lesson on these with major pentatonic in E. But a sequence of fours is you're moving in groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I'm doing. And then I did a Berkeley Jazz School modal modulation there. So I'm not going to say those. You can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to land it with my pinky because of where I'm going next. Now, there are some fingering considerations. Like when you're in this zone, yeah, it's this one here, the second cluster. It would be recommended to use your middle finger for that 7. And yeah, that's a jazz change. That chord's not in the key of G. So I do my run. I land it with my pinky so that I can then get this E flat major 7, which is a cool chord to sneak into the key of G, which is 6, 5, flat at 3 and 3. And now I'm going to abandon my cascades just to finish it out. And these are just Eric tricks at this point. So if I'm on this major 7, I'm also going to be seeing this one in front, which is a more standard version of E flat major 7, 6, 8, 7, 8, and from that major 7 note, that's one of my I like that I store that away. That's like, oh, use that on major 7s. It's just it's kind of like a G minor lick against an E flat chord, which makes sense. 7, 8, 7, 8, 10, yeah. And then I'm seeing this E flat structure here. Where am I? Because here's an E flat chord, and so I'm sliding into this 13. And for whatever reason, I just thought it would be cool to do the 9th instead of the 3rd. So I'm getting that 10 there on the G. It just sounds nice. And then, okay, so I'm still here. That's just part of an E flat chord. That's, you know, a G and a B flat. That's 12 and 11. And that's just another part of an E flat chord. That's 11 and 11. Yeah, so that little jazz maneuver. And then I was like, well, let's okay, enough already. Let's go to G. And now it just, yeah, this is no longer following the cascade rule, but I was just kind of going with it. 0, 12, and 10, which is kind of just like a G inversion. Back it up, which is kind of a neat, like, I don't know, G sus kind of thing. That's 0, 10, and 8. And yeah, I might hybrid pick those. There's a G, 0, 8, 7. And then I do a cascade out of this G structure here. So if this is G, G major pentatonic. So that little cascade. 5, slide it back to 3. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. 5, 4, back, 3. And then, yeah, still thinking major pentatonic. I guess at this point I'm thinking open position. Yeah, 2, 2, O. And then there's our B as part of our G chord. All sorts of neat stuff to look at. This is something I talk about with a lot of my students in person. The layers, the way to, if I'm playing a chord, I can see the scale that goes with it, or vice versa. If I'm playing a scale, I can kind of see that chord that really goes with that. And that information, which, you know, is stuff I cover in a lot of my Hendrix double stops, really is just how I play. So it's throughout my entire channel is how I see things. Oh, chords and scales, licks and fills, grooves and maneuvers all together. The other thing about this is the idea of we don't need to move in an up the ladder, down the ladder kind of way. This is just yet another one of the ways that you can kind of combine notes in a kind of syncopated, steppy kind of pattern that's not shred-tastic. It's just a different way of looking at things. One of the many. Play it slow, play it pretty, have fun with it, and that's my advice for you. Good luck.